option.
It's me. It's always
back,
me.
guys. We're
It's
back.
always me. We just wanted to give you guys a visual first. As I say, welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio and broadcasting live from the beautiful, luxurious Cabinet Creation Sports Desk. It is your boy Sturch and Gooch. We hope you guys had a great weekend. Of course, Dina is from behind the glass right now. No more glass. We're exposing her to the world. We moved some stuff around because it is, after all, March 28th, and that means Gooch's his OCD kicks in. We just make some
cleaning.
Yeah,
There's no question about it that it's a better situation. We record later.
It always is. It always is. We'll get into that. Wrestling Rob is in the building as well. A lot to get into. Thank you guys for joining us this morning, and of course, weathering the whole no volume thing. And here I was thinking to myself, like, this is such a big show for us. Reason being is because we picked up so many new people to potentially watch in. So of course they're like, wow, what's this all about? Let me go check it out. And they can't hear shit.
Well, the first 6 people in here were Payne, Nick, Ashley. Well,
all right,
I
so
should say Ashley was first because thank you, Ashley from Deep, for letting us know that there's no volume. But yeah, we're back.
We're back. Anyway.
Welcome to all our new subscribers. We're hoping that you guys stick with us for today, even though we had no sound.
Yeah, for about half a second. And of course, the cold sweats start and you just don't realize what's going on. But I figured it out because I'm a genius after all. First and foremost, if you want to support Chop Sports, okay, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. That helps us out. $3, $5, $10 increments. Listen, you pay enough for like ESPN and Netflix and all this other streaming services. Well, we're asking you for $3 a month to help us out. We do this show for free and put it out to the universe out there in which we're continue to make strides and make improvements on the set, on the desk, on the thing, on the production value. More content will be coming because we are very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. Over the weekend, 87 more people joined the party. So thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for everybody that basically went around and hoarded us out. I mean, that's how it was. Like, I know my friend Sarah went out there. She's like, look, I'm at a barbecue. I'm about to just tell everybody here to subscribe. Bang, that happened. And then Payne's sharing it a bunch of times.
Yeah, there was a long list of people that helped out this week. And not only the weekend, just dating back to Monday, 187 new subs.
Since Monday. That's incredible.
Week, 187. If we could just get 69 more.
Nice. 69 more to go to get to 1,000. And of course, when we hit 1,000, we quit and we go home. And that's it. That was the goal. And that's it. No, but more content coming your way. Later on today, we finally get to go in front of the camera and do the first episode officially of the Chop Sports Fight Factory. That's going to be including Tommy D. And of course, Wrestling Rob is going to produce that show. We're excited about that one. Potential, everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Okay. Potential, viewership on Fight TV. We'll talk to those guys as we go. We got to send them a new sample, let them know we know what the hell we're doing around these parts. So potential there. We also have some meetings set up this week with some new potential Chop athletes, so we're excited about that. A couple guys from the Rutgers wrestling team could be joining. Saldano that we joined.
Saldano's in.
Saldano's in,
and then we're in talks with another wrestling recruit.
Couple. Well, he's not a recruit.
One guy's been there.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. That's the week. We have a busy week in store. Speaking of busy weeks in store, Jimmy Palumbo is getting set for his back-to-back nights at the Avenel Performing Arts Center. So go check those shows out. Night 1 sold out. Once again, Jimmy, if I'm not allowed in the building without a ticket, I'm just not going. So I mean, you figure that one out. You want somebody to hit play on your camera. Well, then you're gonna have to figure something out.
Maybe I'll be able to give you the ticket that I never got either.
Oh, all right.
I'm the producer on his podcast. I didn't even get a comp ticket.
Wow.
Come on,
okay. Man. Well, that's terrible, actually. But anyway, so Jimmy Palumbo goes back-to-back nights, Friday and Saturday. And, of course, big weekend. If you're a wrestling fan, it is WrestleMania weekend. Big week. I mean, there's, like, wrestling every single night this week. Big go-home show tonight. Hopefully the debut of Cody Rhodes, right? I mean, we're waiting for this shit. But anyway, that's for my wrestling fans out there. What else? Before we get into anything, I do want to say thank you to the Woodbridge Police Department for inviting me to go do the charity event over the weekend. It was Friday night. I went to Island Middle School, which is like a stone's throw from Big Shots.
You have my gift?
Yes, your gift is in my car. We no pay for it. I said no. And I was like, this is for charity, guys. I'm not going to take any pay for this. I will take that sweet gold card that you gave us. So I do have that, and now I can commit all sorts of felonies in the town of Woodbridge and be fine.
So my question is, was it just like a oversight on your part to let them know that I wasn't coming?
I told Mike, the guy who hooked it up, Officer Mike Harris of Woodbridge.
Shout out to Officer Mike.
Yeah, so I told him originally, yes, me and Gooch are like 1,000% in. He goes, how about gold cards and a T-shirt? I said, done. Like, let's go. Like, fine. Truth be told, when I got the gold cards, considering you weren't with me, I was like, well, now I got, in my mind, I was like, well, now I'm going to get 2, and I'm going to give one of my family members. I'm the one doing this job. Little did I know, it's stitched and etched in the damn thing, and it says Chris Gucci on the damn thing.
That's good. I'll write that down. Be like, the next time I get something that Dave doesn't know about.
First of all,
I will give it to my sister. Done.
First of all, it says your name on it, so there was that thought left my mind. I was like, oh, then shout out to Gooch.
Okay. As long as Dave's name is
all right, prick. I felt
all I did was write triangles and circles over here, though.
Well, that's what you do every day. Those are your notes. So anyway, thank you guys. What a fantastic outing and fantastic event. There was 3 games within games. So the first game was the Woodbridge Police versus the Island Middle School kids, which, by the way, some of those kids were like 6'10" with full mustaches. This is a middle school, so I don't know what's in the water in Island. But first of all, the Woodbridge cops showed no mercy, bro. They were swatting shots.
Nor should you.
Exactly. They were swatting shots. Game. They were telegraphing picks, like passes. They were, if they had the ability to dunk, which none of these guys did. Harris, maybe, if he really tried, he could probably still slam it down. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, they're kicking the shit out of these kids. And I'm like, well, I guess. I mean, that whatever. Second game was more faculty. It was the Island faculty versus the kids again, in which there was a little tighter of a game. You know, like they're messing around with their kids, their students. One guy hit the gritty after a shot, and the crowd went nuts. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm on the mic this whole time. So typically, if you do play-by-play, you're on just a headset and you're broadcasting to people watching at home. I was doing play-by-play over the PA. So like it was not play-by.
That's tough, right?
I wasn't doing every single thing, but the main event of the night was the Woodbridge Police Department versus the Island faculty. Great game. It's decided by 1 point. Island faculty takes down the cops.
Oh, I love that.
By 1.
I love that.
And when I tell you that they were very, very disappointed, they went ice cold from the floor. First of all, some of these Woodbridge cops, and listen, if basketball's not your sport, that's fine, and we get it. But some of these guys are shooting balls without leaving their feet. Like that kind of like, just like muscling it up.
I mean, there's some,
there were some athletes.
You know, Kurt Thomas hasn't jumped in his entire life.
But
never see him. His mid-range game is
that's
nice.
A good point.
There were some athletes, and shout out to those guys because I think some of them really, really good. There was a couple teachers on that Island staff. I'm like, these guys are definitely up at 5 a.m. playing at like the Club of Woodbridge. That's how good.
Or just like Island Middle School.
Or just there. Yeah. But like they were really good. One guy was just making things look real effortless. And it came down to it. The rules were running clock, no matter what, right? But here they are. Both teams are starting to call timeouts. Both, like the Woodbridge Police Department were fouling. I was like, well, that doesn't matter. And they're yelling, stop the clock. And we're like, but no, like it's, you don't. Foul shots are taking a minute off the clock because they're just chilling there. They're shooting 1-shot foul shots. Woodbridge was trying very hard to get right back into this one.
It's much like a kickball game.
And they fell short. But it really got me thinking, like how much we could possibly do with the capabilities of having a middle school, like a gymnasium like that, like it's like crowds and just it looks
Ash
like
has
fun.
been in contact with Bobby.
Oh, she did. She got him
over the weekend.
Right,
kind of materialized. I'd like to thank Nick Shine for setting up that contact for us. But be on the lookout for the dodgeball tournament first. Looking to do the tournament at the rec center, the actual one-day tournament, and then having a league thereafter at Island or Avenel Middle. Anybody that's interested on the East Coast, Monmouth County, Middlesex County, join this dodgeball league and get your ass drilled in the face.
Well, yeah, we'll see about that as Chris proclaims that he will dominate. Speaking of getting drilled in the face, we can't go into this show without mentioning a very obvious thing that has stolen all the headlines, and that's clearly Will Smith getting jiggy with it with Chris Rock. And he smacked the crap out of this guy.
When you say getting jiggy with it, I think that's very similar to jumping bones.
Fuck
So you're using this wrong again.
Damn it, man. I'm just
Right?
trying.
I don't
to
think he banged him up on stage at the Oscars. I'm pretty sure he slapped the.
He did. I was just trying to use
was
a
that
different.
A slap or was that a punch?
That was a slap. Open hand.
Slap. Piss out of
and personally, I've been in some fights. Chris has been in some fights. I've never been open hand slapped in my life except for one girl. She knows who she is. Her name's Danielle. She did it in like junior year of high school. I said something and she was like, whack. And I was like, holy shit. That might hurt more than a punch. Like, because you just don't see it coming. It hit me right on the button long time ago.
If Will Smith would have fucking closed fist punched him right there, he ends him.
He knocks him out, puts him to sleep. So more disrespectful. The slap is way more disrespectful. There's been
plenty of breakdowns with this on which team you're on, right? Or whose side are you on? Look, I am not in the business to crack down on somebody else's wife. Like that would be me. That would be us doing a show and me saying like, you know, Ashley's looking a little chunky lately. You know, like obviously it's remotely not even close to being true, but you're like, come on, man. She works out really hard. That's the typical response. Will was like, and Ashley, you know, Ashley, she's not going to laugh at that. She's like, what the fuck? Like, and then you would get up and it's like, no, fuck you, man. And just like,
no, you catch the hands after the show.
After the
like
show,
you don't go up on stage at the Oscars. What are you actually going to do?
Not on camera,
you know,
right?
That's on stage.
So defending your girl, like he apparently did in this instance, you know, and of course, really, like literally 4 seconds after the slap, or 4 minutes after the slap, you hear all this like, well, she has this and she's suffering from that. First of all, like, come on, stop. Like, let's just. The joke was in bad taste, but here's the thing: Chris Rock has been doing this for like 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not like, if you don't know his shtick and you don't know the jokes are coming, these monologues are that way every single time. We understand it's not a Comedy Central roast, which, by the way, Will will never be invited to one of those. Like, there will never be a roast of Will Smith.
Jokes that are going to come out of this in Chris Rock's next set, or it's like, thank you, Will, because Chris Rock just came out on top here. First of all, everybody hates Chris. One of the best shows ever. Anybody ever?
Well, everybody loves Chris right now.
One of the most underrated shows on TV history, I think. Chris Rock's a legend. Chris Rock is also going to be at PNC with Kevin Hart. So
I definitely got to check out. That's a Sunday show.
He literally said, like, you just saw the greatest moment in TV. Like,
yeah,
he knew it.
I saw,
and he ate it like a champion.
There's like there's a 95% chance that this whole thing is fake.
No,
just so we're 100%.
Nope.
Like what they're actors. There's a very good chance that an actor could go up there and sell the fact that
they cut the broadcast in America.
Yeah, because they would never do that. If they were in on it, they would never cut the broadcast.
No. What I'm saying is
all these things are just lending to the point that it might have been an act and set up by everybody.
There was a nervous energy to Chris Rock's voice when he said Rich.
I agree.
Rich meaning, I'm assuming that's the producer of the Oscars. Like, hey, man, something's about to go down right now.
No. The second time that Will said, keep my wife's name out your mouth, he's like, I'm gonna. Like, he literally sounded like
it looked like he was a little shook.
He said Rich. He was mean like, because Will Smith played King Richard. So when he was walking up, he said Richard, like joking.
And then he joking, and then
no, absolutely.
His hands don't go up. No. Like he's just sitting there like a lame duck. Like, so I don't know. Listen, I don't know if there's anybody.
The only thing that I'll say that wasn't was Chris Rock's reaction after. If you listen to like the unedited version, he definitely sounds like he was a little shaken. But everything else that you guys are saying is like, he said this, they said this. That means nothing. They write movies and they say words.
I know, but this was a moment. This was a moment in time where Will Smith, who, by the way, was caught laughing at the joke, then finally looked at his wife and she wasn't laughing. So, and then he's like, guy code, guess I got to do something about this. What you should have did, Will, and I love Will Smith. I think he's one of my favorite actors, to be honest with you. And what he should have done was say what he said after the fact and saying, keep my wife's name out your mouth in a derogatory way. And Chris Rock at that moment could have been like, oh, okay, I think I just touched on something crazy. The fact that he got up first, walked up there,
know what he should have done? He should have done fucking laughed at the joke and kept it moving. That's what he should have done.
1,000%.
If you were really that offended, you could say what you got to say, but you're going to see this dude backstage. You're going to see him plenty of times. Beat his ass off camera. If you really want to beat somebody's ass, you don't do it at the fucking Oscars on stage. Kanye.
It was a bad moment because it was probably the biggest night of his professional career. First Oscar, best actor, right? And then it diminishes the moment by what happened. You know what I mean? Whether it was set up or not, the whole night is shadowed by that event.
And look, and I guess because, you know, it's funny. a lot of people are like, forgot even the Oscars were on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't watch that shit no more. It's always some kind of political agenda
here we
where I'm
are
just like,
talking
I'm
about
done
it.
with this shit. So nobody watches the Oscars anymore. Now, will you tune into the Oscars for moments like this in case it ever happens again?
Could you imagine?
Oh, they're never gonna.
Could you imagine having to sit through 4 hours of pain just for the possibility of one guy getting
And look, we all
slapped?
saw it on our phones after it happened.
and
we
honestly,
never had to watch the Oscars.
I saw it as it happened on my phone. It was so fast.
And that'll be the same way anytime anything happens anywhere. But what got me, and like I thought it was fake at first too, and then when I watched it back and you see Chris Rock looking up, like he's trying to get like direction from the production team or something, because
he doesn't know. Yeah,
yelling, and he didn't know like how to.
Right,
proceed.
he didn't know what to do.
Broadcast.
He didn't know what to do. This was not. I don't think by any stretch this was fake. I think that Will Smith defended his girl. I mean, look, are we really defending the same woman that like literally like openly went out and like banged everybody else? Are we really doing this?
I almost made 4 Charlie Villanueva jokes since this segment started.
Here's the take. This is for me.
Great basketball player.
He's a great
player,
basketball
by the
player.
way.
Maybe I see it a little differently than everybody else. I can't take. They are so famous, right? That we all know their business, right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
But if it was just Joe Schmo and Jamie Schmo, it wouldn't. You know what I mean? We would think of it as a different situation. If we didn't know what was going on.
Joe and Jamie Schmo are indeed brothers. But no, I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment, knowing that like it's because of their name value, right? And that's why it happened. But like for this to happen the way it happened, there's no ounce of me that thinks that this was staged. I was like, I think that Will Smith caught some feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
He caught some sort of way. Why? I have no idea why you would be defending. Are we forgetting like less than a year ago, Will Smith on camera just crying his eyes out because of all the crap that this chick has put him through?
Mm-hmm.
I would have been doing this. If you're her and I'm Will and he tells me the joke and I'm like, just laughing. I would just, oh my God, that's funny. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'd be doing. Like, because it's hilarious. But then she gave him the daggers. Like, are you kidding me? Right? And then I saw one meme said something about like Pac would have went out and shot him.
She clearly,
that's funny.
She
good.
clearly runs everything. She runs that whole situation.
She obviously
bangs who
said something to him.
He was laughing. He clearly thought it was funny, and she just shot him a look, and then all of a sudden he's up.
I'm telling you, Tupac would have shot him. I was dying when I saw that. Oh boy, there's a lot of AJ came in the Schmo family. I like that. There's a lot to digest and dive into, but that's not this show or a sports show. So don't worry, guys. If you're new to the show and this is the first time you're tuning in, first of all, like the video. We need you to like this current video right now.
Automatically goes to like, what other celebrities or actors do you want to see fight? But that's such an open-ended thing. I could sit here forever and come up with them.
I mean,
but we're not going to do that.
It's like the world versus like Jake Paul. Everybody wants to see everybody beat up Jake Paul. But yeah, this whole thing was just crazy, and of course, it made the headlines. And like it's the first thing my Bleacher Report sports stream shot me a like Will Smith blast Chris Rock. I'm like, what? And I'm half asleep. I'm like, what is this crap? And I waited till the morning to see it, and I was like, oh, well, this is interesting, But now, forever, I don't know if you guys know this. Do you know the meme of Batman slapping Robin?
Yes.
That's gone forever because now this one has surpassed that one and we'll take that one on forever. This is an interrupting type meme. Like I put out a tweet today. It was, Dak Prescott isn't a top 5 call, and Will Smith just smacks him saying, shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, Bailey, I think that's hilarious.
Bailey, I would beat the piss out of MGK. I want to fight Tom Brady. No beef with MJK. He's not in my way. Tom Brady, though, he could get it.
Yes, Vinny, bring back Celebrity Deathmatch. I mean, that was just perfect. Chop E Daily. Who put that? The scoop. I love it. Oh, man. So anyway, we're not an entertainment show. Well, we are an entertaining show, but I'm saying as far as this kind of crap, we don't really dive into. But this one, it would be unnecessary not to cover
any
this
type
shit.
of beef we cover.
Yeah,
that's the new rule.
Wait, Gooch, what's your line? You're here for all the beef.
For all the beef.
All the beef.
That's why, look, nobody could write Will Smith's set of rules in terms of what makes him fight. Typically, guys kind of fight when they feel like fighting, or in this case, when your girl gives you a look. Because I don't think Will wanted anything to do with it at first. But look, everyone goes by their own code, and you cross the line with Will Smith. He's well within his rights, I guess, to go up and slap the shit out of you, and he did. So at the end of the day,
I will say,
I think he fucked up by not waiting, because then he could have actually really confronted him in the way he wanted.
My man wins an award and cries on stage
about love
and protecting people. Like you You can't. Yeah, how's your calves after that back pedal? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody calm down.
Well, I think that was kind of lending to the point, like protecting who he loved.
I mean, he don't love her anymore, but that's just me. Also, shout out to Will Smith, who, you know, I guess over the years has lost a little bit in his right. I mean, not too long ago, Will Smith was knocking out aliens cold.
Looked very
welcome
very,
to Earth,
very,
you know,
very,
and just whack, you know, and that was it.
Very, very fake. The slap itself, out of all of the things, that looked fake. I'm sorry.
All right,
say what
you're on team fake.
I watched
your mom's not on team fake.
I watched that slap 50 times only because I'm trying to figure out if this is fake or not.
It's not. I don't think it is. But
and I would say his face didn't get red, but
Jesus Christ.
What's juicier coming from Bailey? Masvidal Covington stuff or Smith and Rock?
Yeah.
And there will be no charges filed, by the way. Like, Chris Rock will not be pressing charges about this because this is assault. It's just as much as anything else.
Yeah,
it is.
All right,
but it is.
What else do we got? We got Final Four. Fucking, I'm gonna throw up if I have to hear about Will Smith anymore.
All right. Well, fine.
Moving on.
I'll just go F myself. But anyway, so unfortunately, this was the end result of a magical run out of St. Peter's. St. Peter's gets dropped by the Tar Heels 69-49. I have to, what? Okay.
It's out of order, I think.
I don't know where I put them. It doesn't matter. But as they come up, we'll talk about them. But the one thing I will say is this. After that charity basketball game, I went over to Big Shots for the first time in, I don't even know, since the last time we went. It was right there. I knew that there was a bunch of police officers going, so I was like, I'll just join you. So I went to go watch the St. Peter's game on Friday. And for the first time in a very, very long time, it just felt normal. It felt united. The whole bar was all over St. Peter's. The place went nuts when they won. It just felt, I have to throw that in there. It just felt normal again to be in a bar and have everybody in unison be happy about it. So the magical run extended itself for a couple days. First 15 seed, in history to make it to the Elite Eight, but they will not be going to the Final Four. In fact, this will be North Carolina. They just bullied. I think it was 9-0 at one point. Like, as soon as the game started, they were off to the races. 31-13 at one point. Like, there was never a shot for Doug.
I'd like to thank St. Peter's for beating Purdue because it gives North Carolina an easy shot to smack the piss out of Duke, which we'll get to later.
We'll see.
But
easy money.
Blue blood Final Four. Yeah, Commander Carson said the same thing as somebody. One of you guys said that in the pre. But yeah, so this game, it just, again, not that college basketball wasn't watchable, but like these last couple games, they're all they just
there's
everybody beat the tar.
The Elite Eight wasn't that great.
No,
it
wasn't.
Competition and in-game stuff going on. Everything was, I think, a blowout.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing that I would say is that there was some upsets. Was there an upset?
No,
there wasn't even an upset.
Not one.
It went chalk, and they all covered. To my understanding,
I don't know about
all
the
favorites covered. A lot of
assuming
unders,
they did.
All the first half unders, I believe, hit.
Yeah, I know. Toast was all over that. Moving on, Villanova beating up on Houston. They'll be making it to the Final Four as well. This one's at least a little bit closer than the rest. 6-point margin is, that you tune into that. The other ones were just complete shit shows. After that, Duke messed up Arkansas by 9, 78-69. And then the game that was completely unwatchable, Kansas beating Miami 76-50. That game was close in the beginning, but then Kansas was like, all right, I guess we should start playing now. So in regards to these games, right, and I guess, the Final Four is, in fact, set. In regards to these games, it was me. I'm sorry.
Stealing my job.
No. I know. I just wanted to
that was supposed to be the one in the beginning.
What?
Now that we're clear, that's why I was like, wait, these graphics are out of order because that should have been the first one. We lead in with it, and then
whatever.
down the line.
All good. I just needed to run down those quick because I do want to talk about certain things that went down this weekend as far as the teams that lost. Like right away, St. Peter's loses their coach to Seton Hall, so he takes that job according to some reports. I don't know if it's like official, but that sucks.
No, that's pretty official. Yeah,
that's okay. But the Final Four set, we'll get into the games in just a second. But
it does not suck. It's great.
No, it's absolutely great. But what did I say?
You said it sucks that he's leaving. I think it's great.
That's great for him
because now it's becoming. He did a great thing for the program, and now kids are going to want to go there, and it's a launch pad for a better career.
Yeah, but what if they saw the coach and like, I really want to play for that guy?
Well, then go play for Seton Hall.
I mean, you're gonna have to go try to play for Seton Hall. I mean, it's not going to be
and he's
as
a Seton
easy.
Hall alum. That's his dream job at this point.
Well, then that makes sense. But I do want to say one thing that, again, this is going to come off, maybe get off my lawn-ish. But, these guys are all getting to the Final Four, right? So technically, to be the national champion, you got to win 2 more games. The celebrations that I saw over the weekend, confetti, hats, trophies, cutting down nets. I'm like, wait, and I know this has been a traditional thing, so it's nothing new.
Say, is this your first March?
No, it's nothing new. It just rubbed me the wrong way this time around, and I guess it's because to me, like, yeah, cool, you got out of your conference. You all right over there, Dina? Things are just
my phone.
Oh, okay. Whatchamacall? You're getting out of your conference, right? And that's or bracket, whatever you want to call it. You got out of there, you won that. But to me, you still haven't won anything.
So look,
like all the whole, oh my God,
playing in the Final Four is a major feat.
I'm like, playing
in the Final Four is a major feat. I disagree with you wholeheartedly on this one. I agree that this whole participation trophy era is a little soft, but in this case, let's look at it like this. If you're a college football team, right, and you make the college football playoff, that's worth celebrating, correct? You're in the Final Four. Like, that's definitely worth celebrating.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's 4 out of the entire, like, country that's eligible to make it. These guys have to get there, right? That's the journey. Like, you win the tournament, you got to win the tournament. Yeah, I don't know. I think the celebration
when you win your region. So you're saying that, like, no team should celebrate.
I didn't say no celebrate.
Unless you're
I didn't say no celebrate.
The champion, and it's also for the networks.
You could storm the goddamn court for all I care.
But to make the Final Four is a huge accomplishment for a college team, and I think that it's just something that you as a university, you want to go on that stage and show all the recruits and the possible kids coming up. Like, this is what happens when you come here. It's been happening since the dawn of time. I don't really have an issue with it. I have issues with, think it was celebrating after winning the play-in game and with champagne and things like that in certain respects. But look, this is a big accomplishment. And for some of these teams,
I'm not taking anything away from these teams. These are the best 4 teams in the country.
For some of the teams, because like only one team is going to win, this is their moment. You know, like, understanding like only one team is going to get to win. You are a champion of something when you win your region. Like, you won your region. It's like winning your division in baseball. You know, like, that's a tough thing to do, is come out of you see the brackets. They're not easy.
But again, if you win your division in baseball, did you say baseball? Yeah. So if you win your division in baseball, football, conference, basketball, and you win it, you know there's like one more hill to climb. I never understood, even with the Yankees, if they win the wild card game, right? They're popping bottles.
But when they win their division, you have no issue with them celebrating, right?
But that's to that extent. The extent was just too much. Like, oh, let's make sure we line up the locker rooms.
You know how you preface this whole thing with saying, like, I'm gonna sound kind of get off my lawn.
I said that. At least I prefaced that.
No, you did.
I was like, I'm probably in the minority here, but I just think, like, this is like, you know, I don't feel like they've won anything yet. Get to the championship and you're the official, like, conference champion, like in NFL. Like, if you get to the Super Bowl, you're pumped as shit and you celebrate because you're that one team representing your conference in the Super Bowl. This one, it's like saying that after you win a divisional round of the playoffs that you get to pop bottles. Like, that's not my style. I don't know. Like, again, I'm probably in the minority here, but whatever.
I think
I digress.
A lot of it is like, you know, seniors first time getting there. You gotta remember, we had COVID for the past like 2 years, and I get they cut nets down all the time. But remember when the Yankees were winning the World Series in the 90s all the time? It's like after the third one, it's like they were barely jumping on each other at the mound. You know what I mean? It was like business as usual. Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
it gets a little bit too much.
I agree 100%. But the networks also push this.
Yeah, CBS, I'm sure, is like, don't cut down that net. We need to fill.
I want to get into a little bit of these games, though. Well, not the games, but just the teams that made it. So out of the 4 Final Four teams, we got Duke, North Carolina, Villanova, Kansas. North Carolina has made 21 Final Fours. This is their 21st Final Four appearance, which is insane. Duke comes in at second out of the 4 with 17, Kansas with 16, and Villanova with 6.
But Villanova's been a dominant basketball team for the past, like, 5 years, 4 years.
So, I mean, that gives you an idea. Like, Villanova's only made the Final Four.
They're on the come up, though.
So it's for that reason, I think it's worth celebrating. You know, a team like Villanova has been around forever.
I guess.
And think about this, too. What if you're a team like a Butler, you know, who had no business, this was a couple years back, no business making it that far. Like, you make it to the Final Four. Like, every time you advance for these mid-majors is worth celebrating, let alone the Final Four.
Like, I saw St. Peter's go on this run, right? And like, they're storming the court, they're going nuts, and that's fine. But maybe I didn't watch long enough coverage, but like of the celebration. But maybe, you know, I didn't see St. Peter. Like, it was business as usual. Every time they won, they were excited, but they were like, look, we got another game. You got another game to play. And I cannot believe and I even asked you this to like double confirm in pre, that this is the first time that Duke and North Carolina are ever meeting.
Yeah.
Like the history. That's
266 matchups or something like that.
insane to me.
257.
257. This is the first time meeting in the tournament. They were close one time. I think it was in 91.
Yep.
You said, Rob. So
Mhm.
1991, Duke and North Carolina both made the Final Four together, but North Carolina lost in the Final Four, and Duke ended up advancing. So they had not played in the tournament. There was
That's to me that stat
the
was
only tournament they've ever
ridiculous.
played in besides like the ACC is the NIT, and I think that was like 73.
like they actually did play in the
that don't
postseason.
count.
No,
Talk
but
about
that's it.
a participation
Talk
tournament.
about what's
Holy.
really rare is that neither Duke nor North Carolina made the tournament that season and ended up meeting in the NIT.
That is kind of that's wacky.
all
completely
fucking rare.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do I got on the Duke North Carolina?
CBS cameraman zooming in on kids crying is really awful to watch. Heartbreaking.
So we got.
I don't know if that's a. He might be talking about winners or losers. I mean,
got
like, yeah,
some-
you don't want to like get in the kids. I hated that. I hated, especially like the interviews that you gave, like you have to give or contract.
Who are you talking about?
Shine came in before and said like the CBS cameraman zooming in on.
So that was
I'm assuming losers.
This is another time where I was in the middle of saying something and you're reading the comment.
Fuck. Yeah,
Fuck.
that's my fault. Sorry. I'll go. take
What
a
was
sip
I
of my
saying?
water.
UNC 142 and 115 all time and 257 total games, but Coach K is 51 and 47. So, regardless of what happens here, Coach K finishes his career with a winning record against UNC. But please, Lord, please God, don't let this happen. Like I do
You
not
can't.
want
You can't ask a guy you don't even believe in to do you a favor.
I mean, I might throw you a bone and believe in you if you just make UNC.
I mean,
beat them.
look, you saw how the season played out, right? What we thought would be the last meeting ever.
Also, I don't not believe in God. I just don't. I'm not sure that I do either. I have to clarify.
Oh, okay.
From my mother, 'cause, like,
Who raised you Catholic?
she's like, I just shared this out to all the family members, and now you're talking about your denouncement of religion.
Okay. My apologies for exposing the ever so deep.
I'm agnostic.
Rooted.
I'm agnostic, so Google it.
Okay, Google it. But I will say it's just crazy how the season played out. North Carolina thought they were the death blow of Coach K in the final, and now he gets. I mean, if this doesn't spell Coach K revenge tour, so I know there's a lot of UNC fans. Gooch being one of them, Shine another one. Plenty of UNC fans out there. But like if the writing is on the wall right now. You know, the writing is on the absolute wall that Coach K takes down his biggest nemesis in his final game, regardless of what they do in the championship game. This is one of those ones that you just can't. You know, UNC fans are not going to be able to stomach the fact that their chance to go to the finals ended on Coach K. I'm not saying which way I'm swaying,
and vice versa.
correct.
Yes,
I was going to say
absolutely.
I'm not telling you which way I'm swaying right now, but I mean, like it's been a pretty nice revenge tour for Coach K all the way to this. And I know Shine said, hey, let's go to Miller's Ale House to watch the funeral. Dude, I don't know if you know this, Shine.
Party.
You're what?
Retirement party.
I don't know if you know this, Shine, but it's also WrestleMania on Saturday night.
Yes.
Come on, we need split screens, and Miller's ain't springing for Peacock. So I don't know if I can do that. Normally I would say, yeah, I'm all for it. That'd be fun. Little chop gathering. Nah, man, WrestleMania weekend. Sorry, pal.
Can't
I'm going
do
to have to, kind of divide the screen up a little bit, do a little picture in picture, maybe watch it on my phone. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Vinny coming in. Let's go Duke. I know he's a big Coach K guy. You can tune into Vinny and Scoop on the Cross Court Cast. They drop every Friday. But yeah, so it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. I mean, Villanova, Kansas, obviously those two juggernauts of teams. Do you have anything on them?
No.
Okay.
But yeah,
we'll get more into it.
Villanova's 3-0 all time in championship games, and Kansas is 3-3 with obviously 3 championship wins. So most championships ever combined in a Final Four.
That's kind of crazy too, if you think about it. So yeah, so that's your Final Four coverage. We'll get more into it. Probably have Toast on and Scoop on later on this week to discuss a little preview action for these two pivotal games heading
It's
this
not even
way.
until the weekend though, right? They give them
Saturday.
Yeah,
they give them a whole week off.
wild. I mean,
So
you just
any kind of
talked about
momentum
this at
stalls out completely.
Carolina's been to 9 consecutive Final Fours, like 9 decades, consecutive decades.
They've been to the Final Four in 9 consecutive decades. One more little tidbit.
So the 20s, the 10s, the thousands, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, all the way back to the 50s.
all the way since it started. The tournament didn't start till 54, I believe.
Wow. I mean, look, they got the
Did
history
you,
for a reason.
Did you
And they
guys
got
also
GOAT.
see that LeBron James is the fastest player to 37K, right?
37.
He's
Oh,
the
okay.
he's the youngest player in history to make all of the round milestones in scoring.
I was going to get into
fastest to 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K. And I'm not going to do what you just did and count all the way up to 37.
I was using my fingers.
But yeah, it's like 37,000 points for the King.
No, go to 37. Let's go. Keep going. Let's go.
I don't even know
We
if
got
I can
time. No.
count that high anymore.
I will say this. So segueing into professional basketball, shout out to the Brooklyn Nets who decided to host the debut of one Kyrie Irving and then fell flat in their faces once again and now are the 9 seed in the East. Does it sound like I'm happy about it? Maybe, but like the way I see it is this. Kyrie, you cost me money yesterday, so I hate your guts. I've hated your guts already before this. You cost me a parlay, and you cost me the game itself. You couldn't get the job done, and now you find your ass in the 9-hole. Guys, we are living in a world right now, right? We are living in a world where the Nets could miss the playoffs.
Well,
That's
they would
a
be
possibility.
a playing game, right?
Yes, but they can lose and then
I
done.
have to be honest. I have no idea how we had this discussion last year in the postseason when we first started doing the Daily Show, and I honestly still am unaware of how this playoff format works in the NBA. Maybe I should just look one day.
8 versus 9, 10 versus 11.
I can't believe that they have 11 teams.
Believe it. And then here's the best part. The loser of the 8-9 gets another shot at it.
Yup.
Like, what? Like, living in a time where they're like, oh, good job.
We're living
good
in a
try.
time. We're living in a time where LeBron is almost 40, and they're like, we will do literally anything to get him in the postseason at this point.
True.
Well, it's so true.
So speaking of LeBron, did you see? I know there's no graphic for it, which is fine.
Oh, and you're wrong, by the way. It's 7 versus 8 and
Whatever. You know what I'm talking
9
about.
versus 10.
Fine. You understood what I'm
But
saying.
At least there's just 10 teams.
He didn't use his fingers to count that one.
Exactly. See, I wasn't all here. So anyway, Dave betting on the Nets makes my soul feel warm and fuzzy. Dude, I even put it in the group chat with Scoop and Toast and Kyle. I was like, let's go Nets. Like, I was like, let's get this win. They would have completed a 4-team parlay. I would have nailed that shit. And how I found that gem of a parlay? I found it on Kyle's brand new app. Go download it right now, kylekerms.com. His brand new app was the reason why. I also went in hard on NASCAR again for no reason whatsoever. That was heartbreaking. Denny Hamlin, you bitch. you couldn't get it done, bro. You were only plus 1,600 to win the whole thing. So anyway,
There's also
it's got me watching NASCAR though.
Hey, right, you're in there.
nobody bet my UFC card this weekend.
Well, because I barely even know they're on. Like, UFC is so oversaturated
Dave.
at this point, and I love it. I watched a couple of those fights. The Brown fight, we'll get into it on the Fight Factory. But like the Brown fight, total sham job. I know you picked Brown. After you went what you were doing, like your starting picks, which were hitting left and right.
9-2 is
Right.
my total.
What was it?
9-2.
Fuck me, man. But anyway, so when you went, I believe you started off 2-0 or 3-0, something crazy, or the dog hit and whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm riding this. That's it. I'm the next fight. What's the next fight? Oh, Brown. Who'd she pick? Brown. I'm going with Brown. We got screwed on that one. We got absolutely screwed on that fight. That kid is, he's 41, but like that guy should have won that fight.
Yeah, you should have.
Nick is asking for personal
Sound clip of you saying "Let's go Nets."
Okay, got it. All right. So anyway, so I had to do one more LeBron reference because LeBron is who he is. There was a message in that group chat that I finally got to expose today that I wanted to see today. So apparently, this season, every single time the Lakers lost a game, they put out a final score graphic on Twitter. And it's never, not once, included LeBron James. LeBron James was never the poster boy for a loss graphic, but he's been the poster boy for 11 win graphics. Is that written in his contract?
No.
Or is LA just don't want to rub him the wrong way?
Not, and if it is, so be it. When you're the king, you get to do king shit and decide on literally everything. So obviously LeBron is being hard.
That's a social media team.
It's hard to defend LeBron at this stage of his career. But then again, because it's this stage of his career, you can defend him because he's in year 19 or 18, right? He's about to win the scoring title, which they're not winning games, but I do not put that on. You can't put that on LeBron. You got to put it on Westbrook. Maybe you could say LeBron had every bit of a hand in constructing this roster, and you could blame LeBron for that aspect of things. But supposedly LeBron's pissed off that they didn't trade for John Wall, so there's his scapegoat in terms of the roster. They didn't give him what he wanted there. But Anthony Davis doesn't play. He simply doesn't play. And when he does play, he's limited. Or it's just when you're paying a guy that much money to be literally injured in every big moment, That's the reason why the Lakers aren't playing well.
It's kind of like what happened to him with like Chris Bosh too. You know, they got hot, started off, and then
yeah. But I mean, it's like for this social media, and this kid did a deep dive. He's he looked at every single one. He's like, they never included LeBron as the reason why they would lose. And I'm not even saying a graphic is the reason why you lose.
There's somebody that works in the Lakers PR that's just like either a LeBron stan or just is like giving him the respect. It's the person. I can't imagine LeBron giving a shit about that. I just can't.
I can,
but
I can.
No, I mean, I could imagine most of the people in the country that don't like LeBron thinking LeBron would give a shit.
Yes,
about
Nick,
like
and just answer this, Nick. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. They put every other player on that team as a loss. Like there's been times Westbrook was it. There was been time Rondo was it. Like guy has a chart. LeBron not once, but one guy was featured 10 times.
Well, here's
10 times.
Who is this guy? Who's
Some
the guy
random
that did it? So random motherfucker that did all this against King James. Go back to every other season that he played with the Lakers and just look at those. If they ever lost and LeBron has never been on it, then maybe you can make the case. But I think it's a lot of.
Can't see Kyle's comment. It's like buried for some reason.
LeBron
but anyway.
did drop 37 last night. He's averaged over 34 points a game in his last 4. With the scoring title on the line, I think we all know where LeBron is playing for.
Malik Monk. He's been featured in 10 loss graphics. Like, poor Monk. Like, and you're telling me Monk should be the poster boy for a loss? Like, how many times you see his face? Like, oh, man, he must have had a shit game.
18, not 10.
What?
18.
No, I don't know about 18.
All right.
But in any event, doesn't matter. I definitely needed to touch on that because it's hilarious. So before we get into anything else, I definitely want to also whip out this Fusco Insurance Agency read, because Michael Fusco of the Fusco Insurance Agency has partnered up with Chop Sports, and we're very, very pumped about this. The Fusco Insurance Agency offers personal and commercial lines, life and health insurance. They even help with retirement, employee benefit administration. If you need a benefits guy, boom, done. That's the guy. It's tax season, right? We're almost due. I think it's like 2 weeks away to get your taxes done. He offers that tax service too through his Prestige Tax Group. He does everything. He's got bad credit. Go check out Fusco. He's a full powerhouse agency. Be sure to check out all of his exclusive plans for you. Fusco's promise, you're not going to lose any money. So if you go in there and you think they're like, oh man, all this money, no, you're not going to lose a dollar. What you will do is potentially gain. They'll put a cap on it so you can't, run them dry. But definitely go check out Fusco. You can visit his website for all the ins and outs, all the bells and whistles. www.fuscoinsuranceagency.com, or just check out chopsportsmedia.com, and his clickable link is right on the bottom of the page. So Fusco, I'm sorry about your St. Peter's Peacocks. I understand they had a great run. We watched it. It was great. It was fun. But shout out to you for being a loyal alum, and welcome to the team again for your second week with Chop Sports. So Dina with something from Lilac Sage Boutique.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lilac and Sage Boutique is a veteran-owned LEO spouse-operated boutique based out of North Carolina. The fact that you laugh every time I do this.
He's
their goal
cute.
Is
He's adorable.
He's adorable. Their goal is to continue their service by providing affordable clothing to other hardworking women. They ship orders all over the world. Be sure to check them out at lilacsageboutique.com and join their mailing list so you don't miss any new arrivals. Use the promo code CHOP10 at checkout to receive 10% off your purchase.
LilacSageBoutique.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for those guys, veteran-owned. Be sure to support those guys as well. Really great stuff. I know a lot of my own family members have bought some of their stuff already, so that's awesome. So thank them for being a part of that. So before, where are we on the roll here? Okay, so NFL. I know it's crazy because you're thinking to yourself like, wow, there wasn't breaking news over the weekend. It's the first weekend where they just didn't go ham on free agency. All right. So like we do have a list of free agents that are still looking for a home. And now that we get, we're entering April, I feel like a lot of these teams are starting to get into draft mode, where they're starting to get into what, who's going to be where when we draft. And you got the Jets with a bunch of capital. You got the Giants with a bunch of capital. You got all these teams with draft needs and help on the way. But then you got guys like Honey Badger. You got guys like Odell, Stephon Gilmore, Bobby Wagner, who I've been trying to just pray to my Lord, by the way, Jesus Christ, to get on the train with the Dallas Cowboys. Jadeveon Clowney still out there. Gronk, technically not come back yet. No new deal there. So there's a lot of guys still looking for a team and a home. And I feel like, it's one of those things where it's a wait and see game, but it's very surprising to me It's very surprising to me with what's going on in the NFL free agency. And yes, I jumped right the hell over the Eastern Conference standings. So let's go back to the NBA for a second because we're a live show. This is what you could do. It's our show. We could do whatever we want.
I was going to say, we got good games tonight.
We do. There's a big slate tonight. Gooch, you decided to predict that the Celtics would overtake the 1 seed.
I wish we would have just skipped it now because I didn't move the Celtics over or the Heat over, so it's making me sick to look at. But yes, I did predict that the Celtics would win the East. Well, not win the East, but be the 1 seed. I guess it's probably a good thing now because the Hornets are now the 8 seed and not the Nets. But all those playing games, like it doesn't even matter. Like the Nets would have to win to make the 8 seed, correct? Or the 7? I have no idea.
They got to get out of that playing game. I'm telling you right now, they got to get to the 7. I don't know if they could do that.
But looking at it, I mean, the Celtics, they've been on a tear. They won 2 games this weekend. Everyone else at least dropped 1.
Bet them blindly. The Celtics are that team.
Schedule is going forward. So the Celtics got the Pacers, Wizards, Bulls, Bucks, Grizzlies.
That's tough. They got the Bucks and the Sixers.
I will mention that the Bulls are, I think, 3 games out or 3.5 games out with 5 to play, and they do play 3 out of the 4 teams that are above them right now. So there is a chance that the Bulls could kind of sneak into this mix somewhere if one of these teams falls. But as of now, the Bulls are the 5 seed, and it's looking like pretty much firmly that they're going to be the 5 seed. Take your pick at how it's going to play out in the top 4 of the East, but I'm still going to ride with the Celtics. And then, I don't know, I guess Philly. Bucks lost 2 straight over the weekend.
But again, if for whatever reason Philly can jump.
Oh, no, the Heat lost 2 straight.
If for whatever reason the 76ers can get to 2, you know, they'll play the 7, which the Nets are trying to get to, or I just want to see the Sixers and the Nets really bad.
I just want there to be 8 teams and no playing game.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
looking
obvious.
at it like just for the understanding who's going to play who. And you don't know if you're the 1 seed, like how do you want to, you don't know who's going to be the 7 or 8 seed. So I guess you wouldn't want to tank anyway because you just don't know.
Yeah. But it's going to be close. Let's see. Ben. Oh, hey, Ben. You guys doing a mock draft the NFL game last year? Sign me up with the Giants owner. Yeah. All right. We're definitely going to do a mock draft, and we'll see about you being any owner of anything. So, in any event, let's move it on. We did talk about the NFL for a second. There are teams that are still out there. I do want to make one note of some of these pro days that are happening. Our guy, Mike Tverdoff, okay? Apparently, what I heard whispers of a good pro day, I didn't really look into it right away. I finally did over the weekend. He ran a 4.740.
Nice.
So very quick for a defensive lineman, okay? 28 reps of 225, which, by the way, I could probably get 40, 45.
25 push-ups right before
kidding.
The show started.
And you're not 225, so that no go on that one. I would have to be laying on top
Honestly,
of you.
And I don't even know if I could have done 27. I did 25, and it was like...
No, 28 reps of bench press of 225 is very good. His vertical was 35. Broad jump 9.6. He's just athletic. 4.12 in the short shuffle.
Nice.
So, dude, the kid's got wheels, and I think that his pro day is going to make Mike Tverdoff maybe the first ever chop athlete to get drafted in the NFL. I think that there's a shot that this kid lands on a team. If not, he'll definitely go to these open.
He'll definitely get some cool opportunities and be in some cool situations. Regardless, with a pro day like that, he's going to get looks. No question about it.
Right
now, I asked him this when we had him on the very first day, and I still kind of firmly believe that if you're the prospect that's anywhere outside of the 5th round, if you're a 6th, 7th round pick, I don't even want to get drafted.
Because then you get to choose.
I'd rather just pick where I could go. Because if you're going to get drafted at that point, you're going to get a look as a rookie free agent. I'd rather just not get picked. I understand there's probably more money involved with getting drafted, but I would rather pick my opportunity.
Yeah, there's a signing bonus, and there's things involved with that. Yeah,
of course. But there's still money involved with getting the right opportunity and then being able to pick where your spot is and say, looking at the roster, like I feel like I can make the team here or be local.
Yeah, because if you get drafted for whatever reason to a team that's like knee deep in defensive linemen, it's like, oh Christ, you know what I mean? Like, but if you go to a team that's literally searching high in hell to get some defensive depth,
or I'm looking at
some
special team situations and looking at how I could get on an NFL roster at the back end. You know, there's more than just an opportunity at the position you play. Special teams is, I mean,
if he's bolting down the line,
the special teams is more important than it's ever been in the past. Yeah, so I hope Mike Tverdoff is a Packer. I would love that. Get me some tickets.
No, Cowboys all the way.
Well, this kid worked his ass off, deserved it.
Yes,
deservedly
absolutely.
So,
he's had a fantastic run with Rutgers, and the Rutgers team starting to come on.
Chop athlete. It's his very first ever.
He was the first guy to say, "Sign me up. Let's do this. Let's work together." We came up with a great design. He's one of those guys with the longer hair underneath, you know. And I like the kid a lot, man, and I think he's got a good goddamn shot to get drafted.
Nice.
News on the Celtics center will miss several weeks with a torn meniscus.
No.
So that's a big blow to the Celtics right there at the worst time
I said
possible.
Embiid as if that was.
And also, did LeBron James actually sprain his ankle bad yesterday, or is he out for a little bit?
I don't know.
I saw something that LeBron hurt his ankle, and he's like, it's not good at all. I mean, there's another built-in excuse for LeBron.
Well, look, there's 5, 6, 7 games left. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these teams are a different range here and there, but we'll see. Going back to the comments real quick. Damn, I got the boot. Ouch, Ben. Yeah, we'll talk another day. Vinny, even if he gets drafted, he'll end up on a team. I think so too. I think he's got the intangibles to definitely land somewhere. He's a good kid. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a good kid overall, family guy. You know, it's just, and he's a local guy. You know, so we're of course rooting for the local guy. I bet Gooch can do 29 reps easily. Joe LaCory, not a shot. Not
29 push-ups
shot.
I could do not very easily, but I could do them. No, I could do 29 push-ups easily.
But that's not 225 is what he's saying.
How do you? I'm like,
you're not 225 pounds is what I'm saying. Like you're just not.
I'm not. I thought that was fairly obvious.
I'm just saying, you're like, oh, I can do 29 push-ups. He's not talking about push-ups. He's talking about reps on the bench.
Captain fucking literal. Dave, I know I'm not 225, but I could probably do like 50 push-ups. So does it count if it's double?
No.
Back to the NFL real quick. Why do you think we're still waiting on Tyrann Mathieu?
And take it off.
Honestly,
like, F your push-ups. What? Why do you think
why do you think we're still waiting on
I don't know, man.
team to sign?
You got an opinion on
Stephon
that?
Gilmore and Tyrann Mathieu. What is going on? Do you think they're going together somewhere?
Maybe they're overpricing themselves. Maybe they're saying, well, I'm worth this. And they're like, yeah, okay,
there's
fine.
a lot of that for sure. And also maybe there's a spot where they're wanting to go and they're waiting for things to work out on that end. I don't know if Tyrann Mathieu actually wants to leave Kansas City.
I keep
He already
seeing
left.
Vegas.
It's done. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
over.
know, but
And then
he
they
still
signed the what's
re-signed.
his guy, Justin
Reed.
Reed.
That's right. He's done.
He's over.
I keep seeing Vegas, the both.
I saw a lot of that
And
too over the weekend. I saw a lot of Vegas talk with I mean, they've signed enough. I'm done with Vegas right now. Like they've done enough. Like look, the Cowboys re-signed their guy, J-Ron Kearse. They have Malik Hooker, but I think if you got a honey badger, that's
and
that's
also,
an upgrade.
like, it's not really been that long. NFL free agency hasn't been that long. Right?
This is wave 3, third week.
So, but if you look over the course of time, like everything happened right away this year where it all went down. Usually it's kind of spread out a little bit more.
But I think the timing now,
but
timing now it's time to draft prep.
Understood. But that's another reason why maybe you wait.
Very true.
Right.
To see where they land. But you never want to draft for need. Anywhere in the draft.
Well, I think that's the thing. Right now, a lot of teams
you want to fill all
you
the
missed
holes.
out on your guys, or you either spent a lot of your money. So there's not a lot of money left out there in free agency. So a lot of teams kind of signed the guys that they wanted, and now they're leaning towards the draft. Whatever gets missed out on in the draft, then you kind of look at the best of the rest in free agency, and you're like, oh, okay, we don't have a safety. We never, we traded away our top pick. We could get Tyrann Mathieu now. And you get him on a 1-year prove-it deal. I'm like, they re-enter free agency. That's kind of the move,
the complete opposite of that realm. I'm like, right now, I want the Dallas Cowboys to sign a left guard. I want them to sign these positions of need, so you're not, pigeon or hamstrung at 24 when you're on the clock. And you're like, well, we didn't address left guard in the free agency, so we guess we got to take one here.
But I got to be honest.
It's
the best way to build a good team is through the draft.
No,
like
I get
signing
that,
these guys to fill in your left guard. I feel like the left guard should never be signed as a free agent. Like never. You're doing it completely wrong if you sign your starting left guard. Draft him and develop him because you could hide him on a good offensive line. And I say hide him. I mean, like obviously
he's the weak link, but he's still okay.
But because it's a unit, you need a cohesive unit. You could kind of put a guard anywhere on the interior. I think center's important, left tackle, right tackle, but even right tackle, I think is a fairly interchangeable spot if you have a well-coached offensive line. I just don't think signing free agent guards or signing these guys that are middle of the road right now, you're going to end up paying too much money. Pay a rookie, 3rd round, give him an opportunity and see where it goes. If you miss, you're obviously setting yourself back. But when you're signing a guy that's on his 2nd or 3rd contract, there's risk involved there too. There's no guarantee that that's going to pan out.
That's true. But draft is about a month away. It's in Vegas. I'm still kind of almost maybe. I know we're trying to do the mock draft thing. We got to set that up, Gooch. We got to set up the draft party if we're going to be doing that. I mean,
well, I don't know if we're going to try and set up a situation where we're on the mic again and doing like
you just want a gathering.
I just don't. I want to go and enjoy myself, and maybe we do a little bit here and there, like a trivia thing, like in between. But like to actually sit there and be like, "What do you think? What do you think?" I'm
gonna put in a call to J Rock.
Yeah.
See if maybe it's like a Gabe's is a play.
But just us being there and having everybody show up, I think that in itself is worth it. And
Okay.
maybe we do a giveaway or like we a little kind of a marketing thing where we get a bunch of people to go. But I don't want to fucking sit there because it gets very drawn out. I did have
and think
fun.
about it like this. Let's call
I
it
don't
like
have
this.
any more kidney stones to pass.
Well, that too. But I was gonna say, just think about it. Draft day, Thursday. We're doing a show, so technically it would be a second show.
Yeah.
So then no.
Yeah.
You we'll make our predictions on draft day and then go party the night away.
We'll look at it as a place to go live. We'll still get some content out of the deal.
Yeah. No, we'll do.
I just think it'll be better for us to go there, get hammered, have fun with the people,
and show up on Friday like a bag of shit.
I'm not trying to perform on draft day, bro.
Gooch can't perform on draft day. All right. Baseball to round us out today. There was some news in baseball this past weekend. First and foremost, fantasy related. As you're ripping tags off of your shirt, it was itchy.
Oh yeah, brand new shirt.
Brand new shirt. By the way,
shopsports.shop. A new logo design. It's the same exact logo design. Only I cleaned the splashes off of it and I made it a little more bold. So if you can't see,
I think you can see.
Oh,
it's very bold. It says
very
Chop
bold
right on there.
Go on shopsports.shop and buy
splash
some
hoodie.
shit.
The
Buy
splash
some
hoodie.
shit.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we people.
I gotta fix that too though because you can see the difference.
Yeah, no, it's all the dots. Yeah,
yeah.
We'll definitely fix the splash hoodie. Draft party, my play. Yeah, all right, cool. All right, there, Payne. We're gonna invade Chris Payne's ranch. Whatever he's got going on. So baseball, fantasy baseball prep has to start to be talked about because lo and behold, all of a sudden it's draft week for our fantasy baseball draft. So that's Sunday. WrestleMania Sunday will be a long, all-day extravaganza this Sunday. I have not done 1 ounce of research yet, so I think it's time for me to finally open up the old Fantasy Wizard app, start doing some mocks, start doing all that.
Yeah, I've done like 7 or 8 mocks.
But I definitely think that's a good idea for you, a guy like Toast, to do a special based off of fantasy drafts. Like, I think that's a cool idea, and I think that should definitely happen, especially when we hit 1,000 subscribers, which I believe could happen this week. If
I was kicking around the idea.
It could happen today.
I was kicking around the idea of doing a like a video or a live video of me doing a mock draft, sharing the screen. But bro, it gets like very tedious, and I'm not.
Well, why don't you just do like a 10 round and call it?
Because it's like it doesn't do it
like draft
justice.
your starters.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't do it any justice. I think
No?
maybe
All right.
I guess I can, but in starters in baseball, there's like 20.
No, I understand it. It's definitely a little bit more elaborate, more than an NFL.
And
fantasy
just
draft.
with this week is like a tough week work.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Fuck everything.
Okay. Right.
But no, I will do something for fantasy baseball at some point, or at least fantasy football.
Shout out to also shout out to Mr. Albert Pujols, sticking around, baby. He gets a 1-year deal with the St. Louis Cardinals. He's going back home to where it all started. Very excited about that.
Diamond.
The diamond, and not for nothing.
You know.
Yes.
Does anybody know?
If you know, you know. Absolutely. Yeah. You made sure I knew last year. But anyway, so Pujols back with the Cardinals. That's exciting because there is a universal DH now within both leagues. So he has a role with an NL team, and he doesn't have to play the field.
He's the 31st best player ever, Pujols, right? That's what they said. 33rd.
Who said this?
Albert Pujols is a top 10 player in the history of the game.
You think that?
I
Top
do.
10?
Top 10 hitter, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at his numbers, bro. What are
No,
we talking about?
I would. But you said top 10 players. So
I mean,
you could probably. I could give you a hitter. I'd probably break that down. We probably get that in there.
Oh,
Top
boy.
10 player of all time.
so how many
No
pitchers?
way.
I mean, you can't. To me, I'm not even putting pitchers and hitters in the same bracket.
Okay.
It's just impossible.
So what do you mean
See,
by
how
all
you-
time? You
How
mean
are you
you're
going to rank
separating
a
them?
pitcher against a
No,
great?
no,
You know what I mean?
absolutely,
It's like
I
completely
understand.
different.
Well, I don't think he's a top 10 player.
I'll wait for you to name.
Yeah, we're
10
gonna have to break
that are
that down.
better.
Yeah,
We
you
can't
got to
do
give him a
that.
chance.
It's a long
Like, he
time,
can't just
man.
rattle
Yeah,
off.
of
but
course.
but-
But yeah, I think he's the
Derek
best.
Jeter.
Arguably the best right-handed hitter in the history of the game.
Ooh, Scoop coming in.
What?
So he definitely is.
Best right-handed hitter in the history of the game. Who? Hank Aaron. You could make the case is better. That's about it.
I'm gonna have to research
Pure,
this.
I was
pure
gonna have to-
Manny.
we're gonna have to revisit
Miguel
that one.
Cabrera. I've been doing this for.
I
I've been saying
believe
this a
you.
long time. Right-handed hitter Albert Pujols. Look at the numbers, bro. They're absurd. Absurd. He's got 600 home runs.
I mean,
What are we
yeah,
talking about?
he's only one of few to have.
And
that.
everybody said that when Albert Pujols came into the league that he was really way older.
Yes.
If that's the case, then he's now even still way older. So he's like, what
And
is he?
still hitting
52?
bombs.
Still
I'm a
hitting
Pujols
bombs?
guy. I love Albert Pujols.
Albert
I am
Pujols
12.
is my favorite non-Yankee in history.
He,
That's one of the jerseys I bought as a kid. I never wore it because that's sacrilege to me.
Bro, when
But I
Pujols hit
own it.
that bomb off of Lidge in the playoffs, like it was when Pujols got up, you're like, game over.
Yeah.
He's definitely hitting a bomb, and he hit a bomb. Like,
And he's never
was
been linked.
so
He's
good.
never been linked to any of the steroid stuff, right?
No.
Never.
I mean,
Interesting.
everybody that played.
probably,
Yeah,
you
no,
know
I
what
know,
I
but
mean?
I'm saying
But-
like he never hit the
Nah,
Falco
yes,
list.
nah,
This is
yeah.
what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
Like, you
I
know,
don't think
that
so
whole
anyway, but
ordeal.
no.
Speaking of hitting bombs, a guy that needs to be paid ASAP, and that's Aaron Judge. He went absolutely ham yesterday off a guy that'll probably be bagging groceries next week, working for
I will
Stop and Shop.
I will not take any of things that Kyle says about baseball serious.
I
Like, he's
can't do that
calling
either.
Pujols a poor man's Jeter.
Silly.
Is
What?
this serious? You
Silly,
have no
silly,
idea what you're talking about, Kyle.
Silly.
I think that's a troll job. Or if he
Oh,
really
absolutely
believes
is. If he truly believes that, then he's losing credibility. You know what I'm saying? And I would take his
I
NBA
wanna
arguments
know,
with
I
some.
want to know.
With some
I want to know
stank
anybody
on
that
it.
disputes me saying that Albert Pujols is a top 10 hitter, position player of all time, and we're talking about, since we don't actually give a shit about fielding anymore, and we're not ranking. Although Pujols was a good first baseman,
He was a good
anyway.
first.
It wasn't
I'll
like
give
he
you
was a-
that.
It wasn't
He was
like
a great first
he
baseman.
came up as a third baseman, shortstop. So shifting to first base, he was just fine.
What about Wexler coming in saying Mike Trout, if he stays healthy for the rest of his career, will go down as the greatest right-hand hitter?
We have to see that happen though. The guy's hurt all the time, and they don't make the playoffs.
No.
So
No, Pujols is a better. I mean, no, I just don't.
That was
see
a
it.
joke because Jeter was put above him in the top.
Oh,
100.
thank you, Kyle.
See, you gotta clarify.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
bro.
Christ, sometimes you just.
Well, he always comes
Kyle
at me for my
spits
takes.
fire.
He comes at me for my takes all the time. So I figured, like, Kyle, are you really serious right now? Pujols is so good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, Payne came in and said his head didn't grow 3 times the size of his natural head size, so there nobody suspected Pujols. But his forearms were like Popeye. Like, the guy was a beast. And I wholeheartedly agree that he's one of the best right-handed hitters ever. I'll definitely dive into the stats. I'm going to put that clip
And
on the line.
Mike
and
Trout's
see,
not. Mike Trout is not as good of a hitter as Pujols was. Mike Trout was like bringing other things to the table in terms of 5 tools. He's a center fielder,
See
so
what
you could give him that.
Did you see what the Mets did yesterday? By pitching both DeGrom and Scherzer in the same game. Pretty interesting.
I didn't see that.
It was pretty interesting. Because I don't know why they did it. I guess to
Did
get
DeGrom hit any bombs yet? This
but
spring? Are they gonna
here's
let this guy hit still?
my only gripe with that of putting Scherzer. Scherzer pitched 6 innings yesterday. Are we doing that right away? Like, didn't this
Bro,
guy have a dead arm last year?
You know, baseball starts in a week. These guys got to
Totally.
stretch it out, bro. It's
Totally,
time
but
to go.
I would give him April to stretch it out.
I
you
mean, it's March 28th, right?
I'm saying give him the month of April. Don't try to
no.
overwork them in
Look, also
Palm
these guys.
Springs, Florida, or wherever.
You
the
know,
fuck they
you know
play.
who decides how many pitches or whatever he's getting in spring training? Him. It's Max Scherzer. He decides. So he's like, I need this much more work. He knows his body.
Okay.
I mean, I agree that it might be a benefit in certain cases to get a guy that doesn't pitch all season long, but this is spring. You need to get these guys ready to go right now. There was already a shortened thing. Yeah, stretch his arm out. 100%.
So they've had 2 games, and this is so funny. You said this. My boss said this to me on my other job the other day. In the 2 games, the 2 spring training games, he threw 90 the first game and 72 second. Dude, that's crazy.
That's your biggest
for a
investment
guy
in a
who-
long
yes,
time.
That's I thought
That's
the same thing.
too
Like,
much,
why
bro.
would you do that? His first game, 90
It's too
pitches?
much, bro. I understand he knows his body, but that manager,
And
just
look,
imagine being
and
the
look.
manager of the Mets right now. Buck Showalter,
Bro.
you're out there letting him pitch
Bro,
all that. What if
bro.
he's hurt?
So I'm gonna take Buck Showalter's and Max Scherzer's word and his trainer over like anybody that has
Any of us, I
If
get
you're
it.
looking, his Matt Ibby is definitely not talking shit. Even though he is a Mets fan, he's saying his dead arm was due to lack of throwing, which makes total sense.
Mm.
Honestly, it's like he's a pitcher. He's a baseball player. Like, he's gonna be fine.
I understand that.
They'll blow it in the playoffs. They
Yeah,
will.
exactly. In 5 months, his
He's a
arm
Met,
will-
Kyle's a Mets fan, so like he's probably just mocking out his own team. But interesting, baseball season's right here, man. We're very excited about it. Scoop said he's going to put up a poll in the Chop Sports Facebook group, top 10 hitters ever. So maybe
Right-handed hitter.
right-handed hitters ever. So we'll see if that pops up, and we'll talk about it tomorrow because baseball season's here. We got to start getting into that groove. Later on today, we are recording the Jimmy Palumbo show. That'll drop tomorrow. And of course, we're recording the first ever Chop Sports Fight Factory later on today with all of us involved in that one. So for all the new people that are out here for the first time ever, we thank you for subscribing to this channel. We want you to like this video. It helps us out with the search and all that stuff because we've covered a lot today, from the NCAA to the NFL to the NBA to the baseball. We typically try to cover it all when things are popping off. So it's just a nice little mix right now. We got the NCAA tournament about to be over, right? NFL free agency / draft. MLB's about to start. NBA's about to get to the playoffs. The Rangers still kicking ass because they just won in overtime again last night. A lot of sports to talk about. check us out every day at 11 o'clock. We go live here. So for Sturch and Gooch, and of course, Dina for producing, and of course, Wrestling Rob in the corner over there. This has been another episode of the Chop Sports Daily. See you guys tomorrow on a Tuesday, which, by the way, is the worst day of the week. You ever think about that? Like Monday's like the start of the week.
Love Tuesday.
Wednesday's a hump day.
Love
Thursday's like
Tuesdays.
Friday Eve.
Love
Friday's
Tuesday.
Friday. The
You don't
weekend's
like
the week.
Tuesday? I hate Monday.
Tuesday's just like I used to like Tuesday when it was pint night at Fox.
I'll tell you why I like Tuesday. I'll
That's
tell you
what I
why I
love
like
Tuesday.
Tuesday, because it's usually the first day that I actually have a little bit of time at the studio. But in this week, I don't. I have to go to work tomorrow.
What? I thought you scheduled a bunch of. Nah, fuck it. We'll talk after.
Don't worry. I got.